My name is Rhapsody and welcome back to Monster Train 2, where we're going to be playing the secondary leader, Little Fade, of the Melting Remnant. For all that I've learned of these exiles, it should be no surprise to me that the exile of the Melting Remnant is a thieving child. My visions of her have been brief, but she looks to be free of the wax for which her ring is known. Perhaps her sacrifice, and the sacrifice of each exile, granted immortality to the clans. We also start with the Primitive Mold spell, 1 Ember reform a random unit, and we're going to be pairing them with the Underlegion. And with the Underlegion, I'm going to have Eager Conscript as my secondary spell here, which is going to give me the ability to summon cardless troops. The fungi themselves are cardless, which means they don't go into our discard pile after consume pile after they die, which means we can use these as chump blockers without filling our reform pool with garbage cards. So that's the general idea here, and other than that, Friends and Pyre, we'll see what we're gonna do. Echo of the Time Father. Once per battle, select the Heart to apply Frozen and apply Frozen to all non-Blight and non-Scourge cards in hand. We have 2 copies of Molten Encasement, a 1 Ember Tomb, 1 size unit that on Extinguish applies Stealth 2 to friendly units, 2 copies of Spawning Pod, 2 Ember Consume to spawn 4, and then a Moral Mistress, 1 Ember 2 size on Etch, which again is when a card is consumed on the floor, apply Decay 8 to friendly units. And enemy units, importantly. Seraph Eternus is also going to be adding melee weakness to our characters. I believe our characters will spawn with 2 melee weakness if we're going for the enchanted version. So we are going to need chump blockers in the front line in order to help us survive that. Archeon pushes things back, and the Cherubs give spite. Sure. I think we really want to see what Little Fade's line is before we start looking at artifacts. Eternal Flame, 1 Ember, quick and endless. So attacks first, and then if they die, plus 15 damage and plus 1 health. Yeah. Yep. There's also Firelight. On Extinguish, apply +5/+5 and burnout 2 to friendly units. Which, that would give a countdown timer to my friendly unit's survival. I'm gonna go with Eternal Flame and see what I can do with that. Oh wow. This early, I think you had to take the Golden Idol. It'll result in more relics over the course of the run. Versatile Ember Staff could give us 1 Ember and 1 draw on the turns that we play 3 different types of cards. That's going to be reasonably common, but not especially common, unfortunately. Maybe if one of our clans had a non-spell starter card, it'd be much more common. But Golden Idol is going to give us 50% more gold from each of the trial modifiers, which is going to be huge for us starting out here. So what's our scaling strategy for beating the boss? Have Little Fade die as many times as is humanly possible. So it should be like Moral Mistress, a Spear Steward behind, Little Fade in the front line. Oh, you got in these shinies lying about? So even if I spawn... No, if I spawn all of these, we will prevent the death of Little Fade, unfortunately. Exactly what I'm not looking to do. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna keep this hand. All of this hand? Do I need to keep all of this hand? I should prepare some damage for the next floor, actually. There you go. It's unfortunate. Can't do anything about that that collector there. I'm gonna sack a Spear Steward here. But also, yikes. I guess... Pop a little fade up there. Wait, hang on. Little fade has to go down after I spawn so that the spawn is not in the front of the line. There we go. So Little Fade still dies, but we managed to take down all of the enemy units there. Spawning pod kills the bottom line and keeps Moral Mistress alive so that I can try and use another spawning pod next turn in order to get 8 decay on the boss, which is going to be important for whittling away their HP. Lord Fade could go down and Molten Encasement. Yeah. So using the Molten Encasement in order to protect Lil Fade when she has a huge amount of damage, pretty good. Ooh, oh boy. I mean, we really want units that we want to reform with 5 copies of Primitive Mold in the deck, so having a draft or an Entombed Explosive, huge. Love it. Great. Incredible. Maybe draft? Maybe we start with draft. Because I've already got some tombs. Oh, you're already giving me propagate triggers. I mean, yeah, I'll take them. I'll absolutely take them. Proliferate or Glow Up. Glow Up gives us the ability to advance. That is pretty important. I might not ever see another advance. Okay, I will take this copy of Glow Up. On the Legion, Merchant of Steel. Next area is Merchant of Steel Remnant. What do I do with spells? Yikes. I don't really have good spells for upgrading right now. I mean, Double Stack goes on Glow Up. Holdover goes on Glow Up. Cost Removal goes on Glow Up. Cost Removal also goes on pretty much all of the other spells in the deck. Consume Removal and then Cost Reduction goes on Spawning Pods, which would then be a reasonable card to dupe additional copies of. Remnant units are more likely to care about being reformed, reforming other units, or also a lot of the time harvest triggers, which I will trigger a lot of with these spawns. So I do think I'm going to hit the left here. Permanently remove Consume and -2 cost and Consume. Perfect. That's Spawning Bod. Oh! Well, there is a Harvest Trigger Kara. Wickless Tycoon, 1 Ember, 2 Size, Harvest, gain 10 gold. Triggers whenever a unit dies on the floor, but there's also the Bounty Stalker, 1 Ember, 2 Size, Stealth 1, on Extinguish, plus 8 damage permanently. Yeah, it's too early for me to turn down a thing that says permanently on it. I'm going to consume more removal, and then consume add back, and then it fails to add the consume back. Perfect. We're not very powerful right now. I definitely need a frontline unit, but currently I am building up to a degree where I can start using the spawning pods to be that. Obviously, the Merchant of Steel Remnant banner in the next area is really going to help with this, though. Oh, any units appear on each floor. I can do this, but it's going to be annoying, and I'm probably going to take some damage. 110 gold means I still have to do it, though. It's going to make it really unlikely that I get the Collector as well, which, that sucks. So I think my ideal here is like Moral Mistress hits the top line, we put Bounty Stalker behind, Little Fade in front, and then we just like thump on those. Yeah, so here's... Oh, no mind, we're fine. Oh, I was a little worried about that. Oh no, because then spawning pod spawns too many. I'm trying to kill this top line. If I use spawning pods here, obviously they go to the front of the line, but all the enemies get etched. But then I use glow up to move Lil Fade back to the front of the line. Perfect. Lil Fade's now going to die. Unfortunately, Lil Fade now can't be played on that line again. Although, does she need to be played on that line again? Really depends on what I draw next turn. Actually, this bottom floor, that flautist, we've got 7 stack coming up to the next floor next turn. We need to be ready for that. How do we be ready for that? We could use Echo the Time Father to hold the spawning pod for this turn. That's really good. Is there anything else I should do instead? I could also use Glow Up to move their Flautist to the front of the line and just bop it with the Shield Steward. Just have them manually move up line by line by line. But this way I'll be taking 7 units down with the single spawning pods and then blocking all of their attacks as well at the same time. It's so much better. Help support damage on the Fallen Champion, please. No reason for me not to use Molten Encasement Conscript on the midline. Well, save for the fact that I should have used the Conscript first. And then Echo the Time Father holds these. So I do have to take 1 hit to a Forsaken this turn. That's completely fine. Three damage is basically no damage. It rounds down to no damage. Oh wow, you even put the Collector on the top line. Still fade. Then big spawn all of those people. Fallen Champions getting to the top line. I probably still propagate. Well, if I propagate my troop, it might survive the damage. 3, 3, 3, 4, 6. 3, 3, 3, 4, 6 is 19. So yeah, if I propagate you, you'll survive this damage and hit back. But then Little Fade literally doesn't die ever again. It's kind of important that you do. I could also dislocate the Energizing Flautist from the bottom line. It's going to be really difficult to kill the Fallen Champion without Little Fade next turn. So I definitely think we're still going Little Fade, spawning pod. And then I glow up you to the front of the line, so you take the quick damage from Little Fade, so now you don't even go to the top line. I still take 1 damage to the Vengeful Shard, and we still lose that troop. I really would like a Consume card this turn, but worst case scenario, we would probably end up taking 4 damage. Ooh, that's not 4. That's 16. A lot higher than 4. My Little Fade is not scaling at all here. I don't think I can let Little Fade avoid scaling. It's like the last time that I can kill her safely. There you go. Reform and throw you down on the bottom line for some additional damage. Ooh, Ari, that top line. Ooh. Calcified Ember, Spawning Pod, Little Fade. Little Fade obviously has to hit the bottom line. Unfortunately, dies to spikes immediately. At least I have space to play Lure Fade again next floor. She'll be able to hit, only once still, because this guy gains spikes after the combat. Oh god. Lure Fade. I actually think our inability to reach the backline has already killed us. Oh, God. Let's reveal you to damage. There you go. And that'll be all they wrote. All right. I figured this was going to be a problem as soon as I realized I couldn't kill the Collector at the very start. Well, Under Legion leveled up to level 9. Dig deep. Spawn 1 for every 10 cards in your deck. Spawn 1 more. New run. Run it back. Yeah, I realized as soon as we were incapable of getting that Collector pretty early on that we were going to have a little bit of difficulty with that. So, that's something we should focus on in this run. Entropy Archeon will attack our Pyre directly if there's no one on the floor, and damage shield. Hersel's Horde is our Pyre Heart, gain 4 deployable, and deployable upgrade is 50% cheaper, deployable Ember that is. Great opportunity for me to actually use a bunch of Burnout here. 2 copies of Purifying Cleanse, 0 Ember to restore 15 health and apply Burnout 3 to a friendly unit, as well as a friendly unit, Lady of the House. 1 Ember, 2 size, sorry. Has Burnout 3 and just 45/45 for a stat line. And then finally, Green Recruit, 0 Ember, 1 size, Extinguish, Spawn 4. This seems really good. Please give me the... Oh no, you missed it. I wanted the other upgrade line. The one that we missed out on last line, Firelight, would have been really good here. On Extinguish, give additional damage and health to friendly units, as well as give their burnout back. So I could have built like a really strong burnout floor. Damn. Little Icarus. Spikes 5. On Slay, gain +2 damage and spikes 2 permanently. So I would need to find a way to support their health. That's not especially easy. Eternal Flame, Quick Endless, has Extinguish, +15 +1. Yeah, I guess that's better because Lil Icarus, like, realistically, the whole thing is you let it die, and then you reform it back, and it comes back with a little bit more health, and then maybe it blocks a couple more, and it gets more spikes, and it gets more damage, and then eventually, sometime in the mid-game, you try and find a way to support its health so that it can actually maintain a frontline position, or you just throw it into the backline, it used the spikes to gain extra damage, and now it just has a high slay number that's damage, right? I will do that at some point, but I kind of want to roll back with the Eternal Flame here. And a large amount of it, admittedly, is just that it has an Extinguish trigger, and I already have Extinguish triggers in the deck, and I would like to focus on Extinguish triggers. Especially if I can get the Waxer Snuffer. Extinguish triggers trigger twice. Unstable Pyre Sparks. Train Steward units gain the Boom ability. Cooldown 2, Sacrifice, deal 50 damage to front enemy units. Not bad. Obviously not bad. It becomes a unit that I can reform, bringing it back for no cost to summon and then just explode for 50 damage to the enemy. That's pretty good, actually. So each of these primitive molds becomes, at worst, a resummon of a minion that explodes for 50 damage to the enemy. Alternatively, Sketches of Salvation. After the deployment phase, summon a random unit from your deck on each floor, which, like, the deployment phase will be me summoning all of my bannered units. So basically, the Spear Steward, 2 copies of the Green Recruit, those can just force themselves onto the battlefield. Does that impact me at all? Not really. Give me the Unstable Pyro Sparks. And Titan Skin for my enemies, please. Oh, wow. Yeah, like this. Spear Steward. Boom. Molded Reform. Oh, that's fun. Yeah, get him. I mean, Green Recruit ideally is the target that I do want to be primitive molding consistently. But it is hard to ignore the extremely funny power of play it, let it blow up. Granted, this does slow the scaling of other things. I don't know, is this bad? I've got Purifying Cleanse in the deck. I'm eventually going to have to burnout reform these. The fact that this unit has Endless as well, maybe I can still get the Firelight line and it'll be Firelight Endless. That'd be really good. Oh! And that's enough to win. Yeah, I've just got to believe if I reform the units enough time and give them enough burnout, they'll be fine. I would love the Hallowed Drippings. What is it? The supports burnout for all of the units on the floor. Molten Encasement. On Extinguish, apply Stealth 2 to friendly units. There's also a Targeted Molded, and then finally a Draft. Burnout 1, Multi-Strike 1. Draft is obviously an incredible unit to consistently reform. Another Green Recruit. Admittedly, I am pretty happy to have them, but realistically, that's because I want to run a Harvest floor and I want to put them on it. Loam Coat. Resolve, gain regen 1, and then propagate 2. Pretty good for some units. Actually, it would propagate the burnout, so it would keep the Lady of the House alive permanently without any interference. And I could make that deployable very easily. And Glow Up, Advanced Propagate. I just spoke myself. I talked myself pretty easily into going for the Loam Coat there. I still do really want to hit a Remnant Banner here. Oh, I'm so glad about this. Merchant of Steel Remnant in the next area. Merchant of Magic Remnant Banner. There's some spells that I would like to do some stuff with, which is to say, Holdover on Purifying Cleanse. I will have a target for every turn. Negative costing any of these molded. I will have something to summon with them every single turn because I can just summon and explode Shield Stewards. Obviously, the conscript's similar. But the real benefit going here is the Remnant Banner looking for extinguished triggers like Wickless Tycoon. Holdover and Double Stack. Interesting. That's a lot of burnout I can give to a unit. Lady the Reformed. 1 Ember, 2 Size. Burnout on Revenge. Apply Burnout 1 to friendly burnout units. Very good, consistent way to give burnout, but there's also the Wickless Baron. 1 ember, 2 size, harvest, gain +5/+5. I need a harvest floor set up. That's how I'm going to benefit here. I'm also going to double stack and hold over a Purifying Cleanse. And I'm going to 0 cost a Printed Mold. Took all of our gold to do that, but that's going to support us a lot. So, Lady of the House should be on our second line now. Mm-hmm. Boom. Boom. Perfect. Explode 2 of our own train stewards there. Then Little Fade dies as well. Get a decent amount of harvest triggers along the way. Let's get Draft down, Green Recruit down, Little Fade down, and then spawn Conscript on the floor. That actually blocks both of those attacks. I'm okay with that. Finally, we got to the Purifying Cleanse for the Lady of the House. And then a Loam Coat will keep you perfectly comfortable forever. Drop a Little Fade on the bottom line, as well as a Green Recruit, then a Conscript. Huge amount of harvest triggers before we get to the Wickless Baron, and then the Wickless Baron just beats him up. Get him. Get him. Yeah, burnout propagation interaction definitely seems useful here. Oh, big boy. Now all I need to get is another Tycoon for that area. Dripfall, 1 Ember to descend, and a Blight Dazed 1. Yes. Entombed Explosive, we basically have that, but instead of Extinguish, it's an ability. Another Loam Coat. Resolve, gain regen 1. Propagate 2. No. Only if I was, like, actually putting, like, buffs. As in green buffs, specifically on the Wickless Baron, but I'm not currently doing that. Goof Blast, Saps Enemy units, Rot. 3 Ember, deal 15 damage applied to K15. But I don't have any direct damage other than just this explosive stuff, so what if I just desperately need something like Rod in this deck? Last deck died because I didn't have range. I gotta make sure that I cover my bases. Multi-strike and quick. Unfortunately, I can't take both of them here. But obviously, multi-strike is gonna go on the Wickless Baron. Unless I find something ridiculous here. The Ridiculous Baron. Not the copy Lady of the House, as well as another Wickless Baron. Admittedly, a second Baron for that same floor would be pretty cool. But also, a good way to accomplish that for us would be giving multi-strike to this one and then duping this one. Which... First dupe opportunity is Merchant of Arms and 2 lines line. Merchant Trinkets in the next area with the Forgotten Boons next to it, so we could get some power for that. Yeah, we probably will be going to the Empyrean Well to dupe a card in 2 spaces time, which means we don't have another Merchant of Steel before. I could just take another Lady of the House, because they don't really need to be buffed to be especially good. They are just a big minion. All I want to be is someone who gets to see a giant woman. 45-45. Yeah. Multi-strike on the Baron that we are so lucky to have at the moment. And then we'll check the event. Oh, wings. 5/5 as well as the ability of flight. Interesting. I mean, obviously, if I could give this to Lil Vade, I would. But surely this should... Oh, no. It can't go on a Shield Steward because the Shield Steward has an ability as well, so it'll replace that ability. Surely this should effectively go on a Chump Blocker is the thing, like Green Steward, so that you can just fly it to the front of the line. Plus 14 damage for a draft? Yeah. That's pretty good. No reason to turn that down. No good reason, at least. Alright. Nicholas Baron, Lil Fade hit the bottom line. And then I kind of want to pop a Lady of the House on each line as well as a Shield Steward behind him? In front of him. Because they can take damage, and then when they're about to die, I'll just explode them anyway. So I may as well use their health as a resource. I obviously want Lil Vade to die this turn. So I think I only do 1 green recruit there. So I will play out my Vengeful Shard this turn. But that means I have 1 of the Eager Conscripts still to play. If I play it on the bottom line, I don't get the right units to die. Like... Well, how tragic is that? I still end up with enough space to play another Lil Fade next turn. That's fine. It just comes down to whether or not I explode a unit and then mold it to explode it again. Which, you've only got 800 health. Why don't you explode? Twice. I'll heal that unit. Or I'll reform it. Purifying Cleanse for the giant heal, as well as 6 more burnout for you. I can't make my shield... I can't make my discard pile literally just all shield stewards that need to explode, right? Right? just gonna say that and then realize in real time that I absolutely can do that. Get him, little Fade. And then a draft in the back line as well. Still does its damage. I'm intentionally not going to save it with the holdover. I would rather reform it. Oh, is that top line going to be a problem? As long as I draw one of my reform spells, no. Actually, I'll just kill him the old-fashioned way. With a hit. No incant trigger, so I can reform. Fade will immediately take down the Cowering Sycophant. And then tank the entire response here. Perfect. That holdover heal spell's really good, but I'm not going to want another copy of it. I really do want to go draw right now. Because Little Fade is endless and so is Purifying Cleanse, so two of my cards in hand are the same card pretty much every single turn. Which does start to limit you. To say the least. Explode 2 Train Stewards on that top line, just because it can. Cool, we already win the bottom line, so I'm going to play out the Calcified Ember to burn it down to the deck, and then just watch him go. So the thing is, like, playing Burnout in Melting Remnant is largely about exploiting the fact that minions have the downside of Burnout, allowing them to be very, very powerfully statted. Obviously, 1 mana, 1 size draft unit has Burnout 1 multi-strike, 1 10-5. Lady of the House, 1 Ember, 2 size, a 45-45. But you also need to make sure that before you get to the end game, either you can stack a stupid amount of Burnout, so the minion effectively doesn't have a downside, or you have a minion that doesn't have Burnout that has been collecting value the entire time. So you use the initial power of the Burnout minions to smooth the curve while you're scaling something that doesn't have Burnout. And you want those two curves to kind of smoothly meet in the middle. I feel like it's going okay so far. Spark of the Legion. X cost to consume and propagate 2x times. Devourer of Death, 1 Ember, 1 size. Harvest. Gain Soul 1. Extinguish. Deal damage to enemy units equal to 15 times the soul count. Now, yes, but I don't think this is great. It never does enough. Like, if I could give this reform, not reform, sorry, boy, what's it called? I mean, obviously wax the snuffer, so it doubles the trigger. But if I could give this regenerate, so it keeps its soul count and still explodes, huge. The fact that it will lose all of that soul count when it dies, it's much harder to utilize consistently. It's just one large explosion once, a lot of the time. Fungi in a suit. 3 Ember, consume to spawn 3, and apply armor to fungi equal to 4 times the troop size of the fungi. I like fungi in a suit as well. Nothing wrong with that. hello. Amorous Inoki. 1 Ember, 2 Size, Rally. So whenever a unit card is summoned on the floor, apply regen 1 and +1 to, health, that is, to friendly units. Pretty good, admittedly. It will give a lot of health to other units on that floor. It will give a lot of regen to other units on that floor. It will keep the Wickless Baron alive. But the thing is, like, if I'm triggering Rally a lot of times, I'm often spawning a lot of chumps. And if I'm spawning a lot of chumps, regen, as in support for my character's health, and health are not the things I'm concerned with, typically. Legion of Wax, 2 Ember, 4 Size. Extinguish. Summon 2 Twins of Wax, and apply this unit's upgrades and stat changes to it. Twin of Wax. 2 Size. Extinguish. Summon 2 Motes of Wax, and apply this unit's upgrade and stat changes to it. I love Legion of Wax. I love trying to make Legion of Wax work. Should I do it now? Also, it's worth noting, Amorous Inoki, that'll give additional health to Lil Fade, which, I don't know if Lil Fade really wants that, but it would prevent some deaths to spikes and stuff like that. Like Amorous Inoki, I could play, like, on your same floor, I could play Train Steward, then explode it, then play another Train Steward, then explode it, and you're just giving additional health to friendly units on that floor. But I'd need to have 3 Size open in order to do something like that. It's pretty meh. Realistically, I don't want 4 different Shield Stewards in the deck. I want 1 with a blue banner and Endless. Endless? No, because then I wouldn't be able to reform it. Yeah, just 1. Just 1 with a blue banner, so that every time I get it back from the primitive mold if I want it. I don't think I can justify Legion of Wax here. I love this so much, and it is just about taking it and finding a way to make it work. But I'm not going to a merchant. We've already mapped out our next, right? It's Merchant of Trinkets, Merchant of Arms. So I'm not going to... Oh my god, there's not even a Merchant of Steel in the next area. Not in the next area after that as well. Literally, it's until Wave 8 until I would be able to get unit upgrades on this. No. Do I take Amorous Inoki? I don't think I should. I want you to know, I don't think the answer here is to take Amorous Inoki. But... should it be? I don't trigger Rally enough times to care about Amorous Inoki, I don't think. I really want more green recruits. A unit that dies and then spawns 4, so each of those are a Rally trigger as well. That would admittedly make the floor very healthy. You know what? Give it to me. Screw it. I do think I need to go Capacity, but I also do think I need to go for Limbo Solace. I said that I was going to be duping Empyrean Well, yeah. And that's obviously before Kale, yeah. I said I was going to be duping the Wickless Baron at the next available opportunity. Do I stand by that? Because if I do, then the Wickless Baron definitely needs me to also fill out an Amorous Inoki on that line. Wickless, Amorous Inoki. And then we only have 1 open space. Is it possible this is 2 different lines? A Harvest Floor line and an Inoki line? No, that doesn't seem like a good idea. Give me Capacity. I might not even end up duping the Wickless Tycoon at this point. I will still go for the Merchant of Trinkets Forgotten Boons. Violet, on Extinguish, apply +5/+5 and burnout 2 to friendly units. Now that was what I was previously going to go with. How do I feel about that in the light of day? Because that'll be applying burnout to Wickless Baron. Although I could just give the Loam Coat to the Wickless Baron, and then the Wickless Baron just doesn't care about that. I'll do it. Oh, wow. Can I get both? I can. Oh, no, I'm just short. Damn. Odie Sodom, 1 Ember per turn, but -3 deployment Ember. We have +4 deployment Ember. We're pretty good. Loam Coat, also, on deployment phase, draw an equipment card from your deck, reduces cost to 0. Loam Coat could do that. Unfortunately, Odie Sodom and Attuned Whetstone cost 140 and 175, which is a combined total of 315, exactly 5 more than I have right now. Oh, what a tragedy. There's nothing. Maybe the event gives us something that I can literally just turn down a card and get 10. Yeah. Pireborn, Stygian Guard, or Umbra draft pick here. Umbra, I think, is most likely to have anything relevant. Consume, apply Trample. God, that is really good. I could turn that down in order to have... Do I want the additional energy? Is that something I care about literally at all? Almost no. Okay, I'm just taking the Umbra Stone. Also, Wanderer's Talisman. At the start of the turn, friendly units gain +5/+5 if they are the only friendly unit on the floor. Not the case. Don't have to worry about that. Penetrant Press only each floor. That's a great way for me to get my little fade to die consistently. It'll very quickly attack that and then die. And also, I'll be able to use my my explosive units. Emerson Noki, Wickless, and then Lil Fade in front. Then we'll get Loam Coat on the big bad boy. Lady of the House to lead each floor, and a Shield Steward to explode. Noticing something here, which is that I'm not... Okay, at least with a Fungi Spawn on the bottom line, we will be able to get the Amorous and Noki to survive. That's important. Then I can use Shield Steward, reform Shield Steward explode, Shield Steward, reform Shield Steward explode, and in doing so at least reveal the backline to damage in the upcoming rounds, which is going to be really important because we're letting 140 health just go straight past this bottom lane. Spear Steward. Boom. Then I want Green Recruit. Lufei does want to die as well. Green Recruit has too much health right now. I do want you to die, but you are currently not at all threatened. I would prefer that you were. Well, at least it now has burnout on it, but so do all of the other units on that line. I could let just it die on that floor. Yeah, it's still capable of getting all of the units that I care about. This whole turn was mismanaged. I need to decide what my objective with this turn is, whether or not I'm stopping damage on the top line or whether or not I'm trying to collect the collector. Because, like, this would stop damage on the top line. But I'm not getting that collector. It doesn't even stop the damage, by the way. It just... takes away 6 of it. Am I willing to take 12 damage for 75 gold? Ugh. I hate to tell you, but the answer is almost certainly yes. Not unless it was my final 12 health would I change my decision on that. Ow. Thankfully, we are now fine. Get him, Spear Steward. Summon and then explode. This is an annoyance. Little Fade's not on the same floor as Amorous and Noki, so I can save you this turn. We still now have Little Fate at the bottom line. Great. In recruit, draft. Actually, hang on. Draft should be in quad. Behind the green recruit, obviously. And draft should be played first. Oh boy. Actually, I'm just going to throw that green recruit on the top line. Don't know what I was thinking about. I should definitely prevent the incoming 8 damage up there. Seems like a clever idea, though. Whilst this line is still totally fine without additional help. Said I should definitely pump the burnout on my most impactful units on that line. Perfect. Ajax, right? I can't see while he's resolving actions. Or as it turns out, maybe at the end of the fight. Fatal melting rather. 2 Ember, a Fatal Melting, deal damage to the enemy units equal to 3 times the number of friendly unit deaths this battle. I mean, having a little bit of a rage spell, obviously a great idea. Engulfed in Smoke, 2 Ember to apply Stealth 2 to friendly units. It's fine, but I want my units to get hit a lot of the time. Subsuming Blade, increased damage with it permanently whenever it attacks. Whenever it kills. But Fatal Melting, certainly. Dig Deep, 2 Ember, spawn 1 for every 10 cards in your deck, spawn 1 more. I do really like that. The troubles with the ability to fetch, I love that too, but I've had it before. Pox, 2 Ember consume, deal 20 damage and apply decay 10 to all units. Dig Deep, it currently spawns 4 for 2 Ember. That's just a non-consume version of, I don't even have it in this one, it was the previous deck. A non-consume version of the 4 spawn. What's it called? Spawning Flurry. I don't know. Don't remember its name. It'll come back to me. Okay, dupable cards at this point. It's not like Wickless Baron got worse. I feel like Little Fade maybe should lead her own burnout line now. And then just Amorous and Noki, and then the rest of them, and... so Amorous and Noki, 2 copies of the Wickless Baron. And then I only have 1 final slot on that bottom floor. And consistently that will be either spawned minions or green recruits to spawn minions. It's not super appealing. If I hit the left-hand side here instead, I can get a artifact, I can hit a Merchant of Steel, possibly even, maybe give another multi-strike to Wickless Baron, maybe even mini-size Wickless Baron, then dupe them on a later floor. This is the final Merchant of Steel that I can hit for a while. It seems like it would be useful if I used this to the advantage of the unit that I intend to do most of my damage. So Dualism will give regen 2 from Amorous and Noki. Yeah. Won't double anything else for anyone else. Quicken plus 10. I mean, I do feel like that could easily go on the draft. Just some additional quick damage. Plus 20 health straight up. I think the Amorous and Noki could easily hold that, happily. Smorgasbord right here. Wickstone. Upgrade a unit with plus 15 damage, plus 5 health, and burnout 1. So... that would give... oh no, there's not enough spaces for it on the green recruit. Because you want to give that and Endless to the same unit, so that you just play it every single turn, it burns out and dies every single turn. But obviously you would need something that's really worth it, because it's another Little Fade. So it would really slow our draw cycles. And I don't think any of these really have the makings of that. The closest version of it is obviously one of the green recruits, but that's casting a 0 Ember spell to spawn 4, as well as cause an extinguish trigger once every turn. That does feel like what I should be doing on the Wickless line, but it's also quite minimal. Also, the Wickless line just got insane, by the way, because now there's a Smidge Stone on the Baron, so now I can dupe the Baron, and I'll have enough space to still do everything else. Endless on Green Recruit seems nice. Just jump block with it every turn. It is good. Maybe the other one should just have burnout. No need for a strength tone here. I'm going to remove 3 cards from my deck at this instant as well. I'm going to remove 2 Spear Stewards and a Shield Steward. Actually, hang on. Right before I do that, there's a Sword. Shrimponics at the start of turn, friendly units propagate 1. No one's ever dying to burnout ever again. So yeah, next duping available opportunity is obviously going to be utilized. That's going to be up next to a Merchant of Arms in the next area. That'd be a good time to find a floor. Lock a floor in. Tough as nails. Enemy units enter with Titan Skin 4. Emerson Noki, Wickless in the back line. Start of turn friendly units propagate 1. Yeah, there's literally no problem with now just playing Lil Fade on the bottom line again. Perfect. Just enough minions to die for Lil Fade still to die, and the green recruit. Oh no, your burnout. You stay alive because Lil Fade dies. Oh no. How do I get it to die? I mean, it's dying right now. But also I'd like to dig deep on that floor. Unfortunately, that Harpist is going to move them like very, very far away from me right now, and I'd like that not to happen, so I'm gonna need to find a way to weaken them at least a little on this floor. That Harper's Protector would be the front of the next line up, so in order to prevent it blocking a hit to the Fallen Executioner, I'm going to throw my green recruit here, and then fly it down next turn when it becomes relevant. Or up next turn when it becomes relevant there. Effectively what I need is just Reform, and I know I have literally five of them in the draw pile right now, because I haven't drawn a single one so far. Oh, there's my first one. It gets the Shield Steward. I feel like that collector is going to be relevant. Shield on the top line protects us against 6, as well as health damage. Dripfall gets us to keep the collector around. And then little fade at the front of this line on the bottom, literally just to die. Oh, no, the Flautist isn't hasting them. It's the Malevolent Hunter has haste. The Flautist is giving them Titan skin. Right, that makes so much more sense. Got it. Little fade on this line now. Helps us project much better damage. Hang on, right before I do that, that is exactly the spot that I should be using my Primitive Molds in. Primitive Mold gives us a Steward who explodes. Primitive Mold gives us a Steward who surprisingly explodes? I don't know. I do want to give the Trample Stone to Wickless Baron, but I also reckon it's unlikely to be relevant. Can you please kill my endless unit? End him! Oh. Oh, damn. I was about to say, I'm very partial to playing the Calcified Ember if I can just get away with that. Fatal Melting on this top line will save us from taking any damage. We get back our big explode ability. We do it. And the boss is going to get introduced on the bottom line now, so I think we are fine. Yes. Oh my god, yeah, the units of ours that do die are dying to their burnout. I'm gonna need to support burnout a bit more. Because I don't want to get to boss phases and then just lose. It's a very sudden, very jarring way to die. Get him! Yeah. There's no new turns happening here, so they're all just losing burnout each round. They never gain more from Shroomphonics. I'm probably going to need the second upgrade to Firelight so that I can give more burnout. Oh boy. Oh god. Disgusting. Hallowed Halls, 2 Ember, kill all friendly units, reform random units to this floor until it exceeds its capacity. Random units. It reforms them, so they are your units, though. That's a really good way to trigger a bunch of extinguishers at the same time. Granted, Wickless Baron probably doesn't want to do it. It disorders the floor as well. Resin removal, 1 ember, remove all debuff effects from friendly units and all buff effects from enemy units. That is insanely powerful. I would like to remove all debuffs from friendly units, please. Racking, oh my god, grow room. All units propagate 1 at the end of turn. That's going to be really good. Mushy room, apply sap 3 to enemy units at end of combat, and racking pain, deal damage equal to 3 times the debuff stacks on the enemy unit. I don't really debuff the enemy unit. And I do desperately want grow room, so I'm pretty happy to take it. Merchant magic. Our spells are still resin removal. I don't want to give you holdover, but permafrost maybe. I'm still not really excited about upgrading our spells though. Let's go to another trinket. Oh boy, Flicker's Liquor, insane. After you play a unit, when you play a unit after deployment rather, a random card in hand is reduced to 0 cost until played or discarded. We now have effectively the infinite energy. Pretty much every turn we are playing units because we're reforming additional units. And those units are 0 cost, so they'll just 0 cost the other cards in our hand if we play them appropriately. I could take Ancient Roots. The first spell played each turn has -1 cost for each 15 cards in your deck. That would be good, but Flicker's Liquor is probably going to invalidate it. Like, it probably won't be required at all. Or it'll be much more marginal. So I'm just going to reroll here. Yep. When a friendly unit gains burnout, it gains +3 stacks. Each propagate will give it an additional burnout. Armory, equipment, or room cards. Steward's Quarters, 0 capacity, 1 additional, sorry, 0 ember, 1 additional capacity. Trained stewards gain multi-strike and +2, 20 damage. Obviously not relevant, in a kind of hilariously not relevant way here. I don't really want the Wickless Baron to become quick because I do want the bottom line to take damage. I don't want any of these. Fight Club, no. Swift Tail Dagger, no. Alright. Do I just remove another card from the deck? I really need this draw gem. Oh, hang on. Obviously, the rally trigger goes down first. Right. Remove mold. I have that available now, so I will use it now. Explode. Remove mold now allows me to hit the bottom line with an explode. Which then 0 costs another card in my hand. I'll play out the Vengeful Shard, then I'll play Green Recruits, which unfortunately now has a huge amount of burnout survival. Maybe I just get you killed on the top line then? No, I want those rally triggers. And Fatal Melting will kill the backliner here. Okay, so Green Recruit. Fatal Melting kills the backliner. We still get Lil Fade to die. I'm going to drip pull the Holy Cherub, trying to prevent it from using its Eaten ability. And no, that doesn't prevent it. Oh well. We're going to have to find additional support, because these Holy Cherubs with 60 health are going to be a problem. I can't really propagate damage back to them very effectively at all. Yeah, I just have to play these in the right order, which is Grow Room, Primitive Mold, gives me another card. That's a spell shield as well, so you will avoid damage to this. Woof. Let that explode. Then I dig deep, I think. There we go. And then Little Fade. And now the Rot card is nothing. Deal 15 damage, apply Decay 15. So that'll cause the Fallen Adventurer to not die to their decay? I guess they got the Eaten ability to trigger before the decay. Okay, never mind. It will die on the next floor. That's the important thing. And then the cherub just goes up to the top and dies. Oh my god. Burnout 16. With combustible wax and Shroomphonics, literally burnout units can't die. From burnout. They're just gonna get so damn much of it. Blocks the right hits, deals the right damage. You got a spell shield on you. It's definitely a better version of this turn. I'm not going to play the holdover Drippings card anymore. What's it called? Purifying Cleanse. I'm not going to play that anymore because obviously it's a huge amount of burnout to give to a unit, but I don't need to do that at all. We are far past that, thank you. Our two endless units just make the rest of the hand free. I'm gonna throw Trample on our backline here. And I'll happily use the other Purifying Cleanse. I don't have a problem with Purifying Cleanse, I just don't want it to hold over, taking a space from my next hand draw. Resin removal. I don't even have any debuffs and my enemies don't have any buffs. Well, I guess except for this top line. Yeah, it'll be relevant there. There you go. Oh, actually, it's fine, because Fungi will still hit the same stack. So... you go there. Bunch of Fungi trigger. That'll still be enough for both of our Endless units to die. Hell yes. So Lil Fade is going to do damage and die very quickly, so will the Green Recruit. Not this one in the backline, unfortunately. If I could find a spell that was literally just like sacrifice a unit, kill a unit, things like that, those would be very useful for us right now. I mean, single Eager Conscript saves the top line. Unfortunately, the green recruit doesn't die anymore. Thankfully, I think we might be beyond needing it to. Hey, Kale, come down here. None of your units are getting to any of my other floors anymore. You want to talk about it? Beautiful. And this is even without the additional Wickless Tycoon we're going to create. Throw a draft on a different floor, just to give me the ability to also cast Rots. Yeah, damage is very largely. End of turn. Yeah, so no turn ends, no turn starts. Shrimponics and Grow Room are both turned off, but we knew that. Remnant Pacts. Consume to apply Endless to a friendly unit. I don't need more Endless. Hallowed Halls. Kills friendly units, reforms random units until the floor exceeds its capacity. I don't have that many additional units to reform with things like that, unfortunately. I don't really have a secondary line that wants that cast. I do want it, though. I want to take it. Drop. So this is Firelight 2. Yeah, give more stats to friendly minions. Empyrean Well. Yeah, though units? Damage is always equal to its max health. That just gives +5. Whoa, hang on. No, it doesn't just give +5 damage to Wickless Baron, because Wickless Baron also gets additional health every Amorous and Noki trigger. You know what? Yeah. I'm going to take that. I'm going to make it deployable. As for our dupe, we will... Oh god, I want to dupe both Wickless Baron and the equipment for him now. Do I go to a Merchant of Magic in the next area to do that? Realistically, I don't have much that I need to do in another Merchant of Arms in the next area, so... This does feel good. Okay. Amorous Inoki hits the bottom line. Wickless Baron behind. Another Wickless Baron further behind. And Lil Fade in the very front. Then an Equalizing Ring adds additional damage to probably the frontliner of you two. But Lone Code also wants to hit one of you, so... I guess this hits the backline. Lady of the House. Lady of the House. Throw down a Shield Steward so that I have someone to explode. Ah. All units propagate 1 at the end of the turn. Thankfully, we will kill this whole bottom line, but still, we're not going to be doing so with spells. So I need a space for Green Recruit, a space for Lil Fade, and a space for the Mushrooms. I mean, I could put down a draft. One, two. No, if I do that, no one on the bottom floor dies. Same if I play Fun Guy in his suit, unfortunately. Oh, actually, no, that's fine. No, it wasn't. We do need Lil Fade to die. Rallying on bunch on that floor was nice, though. Ultimately, it's going to be about getting the troop stack behind Lil Fade at some point. I'm going to immediately outright kill that healer so I don't have to deal with him, because that healer can be really annoying with the tin can triggers. Oh, that's right. It restores 400 health. It goes up the floor. Oh, I kind of want to just drip fall you back down to the next floor and deal with you again. I can't stop that Deafening Herald as well. Ugh. Why? My endless unit would be the one that would be dying as well. If Lil Fade dies on that floor, the trigger of extinguish. Wait, no, endless can't be stopped. Okay, fine. You still get your endless trigger. You just don't get the extinguish. I'm admittedly pretty worried about what this represents. If two of these big healthy boys get through my lines, I kind of die. I die a little. Both inside and out. And you know, I'd like not to die. Bottom line's significantly better, but obviously it's still not killing the right unit. So now when I play Lil Vayne on the top line, Zero Ember, cost for Hallowed Halls now. I'll kill it. Reforming these. Throw a green up the top line for 20 damage to him. No, you know what? I have to go back to the top of this turn. We need to get that flying green recruit to the top line for that reform. Alright, now we're fine. Little Fade goes on the top line, then we use Hallowed Halls. That's as much damage as I can really realistically do there. Oh, this is a problem. Those next two big healthy waves are getting pretty much directly up to the heart. I need to draw Dripfall right now or I lose. That's why you draw Dripfall. Kill the silencing unit. And we're back in action. Woo! Tough game. Yeah, I'm gonna need the Pyre Resolve for additional health, unfortunately. This line would be absolute doom. Oh, I'm so glad I don't have to face it. Alright, Rax. Just you and I on the bottom line, buddy. You and I and 100 of my favorite mycological friends. And a couple candles to boot. Oh, wow. Memento Mori, 3 Amber, deal damage equal to the front enemy unit equal to 10 times the number of friendly unit deaths this battle. Votivary, 0 Ember, 1 size. Endless on Extinguished, draw 1. Obviously, pretty nice if you can make it die, but it won't necessarily die very easily on our boards. Memories of the Melted, 0 Ember, consume, gain 1 Ember for each friendly death this battle. I don't need additional Ember, not a problem for me. Votivary is additional Ember as well, admittedly. We don't draw enough cards each turn to make that not relevant, though. Pandemic. Apply Decay 8 and Sap 2. Add a copy of the discard pile. There's also Wax Cap, 1 Ember, 1 size. Summon to apply Sap 3 to enemy units and Contagious. 2 Ember consume. Enemy units propagate 4. Add a copy of this card to your discard pile. If I had debuffs for enemies, I would consider that more. Alright, so Merchant of Steel has the Pyromanes on its side. I kind of desperately do need to hit that. Which means, unfortunately, I am missing out on the Empyrean Well, the Merchant of Magic, a lot of other things that are relevant to us. Alas. We'll try and make the best of what we can over here. Endless to another green recruit. I don't think that's the way. I think I just reform them if I need them. When a friendly unit dies, apply plus 10 damage to that unit. Sure. Capricious Reflection. I don't have any more units to get. Artificial Firestone. I don't need more Deployment Ember. Friendly units gain Rage 3 whenever they lose a stack of Burnout, a thing that is going to propagate. On deployment phase, draw a room card from your deck, reduces cost to 0. That is the Grow Room that we'll be drawing there. Jackstrip, deal 3 damage, piercing damage rather, to an enemy unit when it moves between floors. I do think it's better to have that than not. And then I will spend the rest of my Ember removing cards from the deck. I think we're unlikely to ever play the second Purifying Cleanse again. I think these eager conscripts are probably also extremely low value in the deck now. At least compared to the rest of it. Punch of Steel, there's no reason not to get these additional stats on someone now, just because we can. Yeah, some additional damage on the Amorosanoki. You're gonna get regen soon anyway. Not regen, you would get burnout pretty soon after anyway. Well. Get our grow rooms. Well, hang on. Respect first. Then we can summon both of the Wickless Barons behind. Give an equalizing ring to the big bad boy in the back line. A loam coat to the front. Little Fade adds some additional damage in there. And now I'm going to have to treat you as a backliner because otherwise you'll die immediately to Seraph. Interesting. Do I hallowed halls here? Or do I just take my lump? Maybe I hallowed halls the next line. Because it will reform Amorosanoki and double Wickless Baron. The only thing is, obviously, it won't have Lil Fade with them. And also, kill friendly units. Does it kill from front back? Like, do I trigger the Extinguish of Lil Fade first? It gives the additional things to the other things, and then they die, and then they get reforms? Well, I guess I can just look. Okay, they all grew... Oh, they grew pretty big, but they all lost their equipment. That's pretty bad. I definitely don't need to do it for the mid lane. Right, I'm just going to play Trample Stone. That will get the Amorosanoki kills. And Conscript is not going to prevent that either. We just take too much damage. Guess I'm going to take that back. Which means I return to my previous problem. This first turn is just going to be basically nothing. Just summon a chump block for each of the floors. Thankfully, all of those units are going to die to jack strips as they leave the floor. And now our rage is going to start giving us some additional damage. Fatal Melting. 6 damage to all enemies. Okay, I want one more of my units to die first. So, Shield Steward. Boom. Then Fatal Melting will now kill the Deafening Silence at the bottom line. Sincerely very important. Let's summon you. Lowering the cost of Dig Deep. Cool. Dig Deep. Drop a little Fade on the field as well. Move you ahead of your stack and then Fungi in a suit. Now we're set up. So we've got our 2 Endless units who are going to be dying consistently, buffing the back line, and we kill everything except for a healing unit in the very, very back of the enemy line. And our damage is only going to get more and more. Can I use resin removal to... Yeah, I can remove all of the sap from my unit. Sick. Actually, yeah. Draw me an extra card next turn, please. Get him, Jack Strips. Absolutely jacking him up. I can feel free to cause incants on this floor, because I am also going to be killing all of the units on it. Seems appropriate. Nice. We managed to give additional damage to the enemies such that they will be able to kill the green recruit, which, again, is the goal. That's 4 troops every time. Batman's just a spawning pod waiting to happen. Oh. No, I don't have any minion removal to take care of the Deafening Herald. I mean, my endless triggers will still trigger at least. Brr. And I'll get to push my damage a lot further. Yeah, I didn't cast that spell on that floor, but sure. Wait. Oh, this Chosen Artisan buffs all floors when you incant on its floor. Got it. Let me just quickly make sure that that never happens. Oh no, the equalizing rings are now holding back the Wickless Baron because the rage would have given 40 additional damage on top. So what? Your damage by now would be... I can't tell you. It'd be basically the same as the other Wickless Baron. Sure, feel free to sap the hell out of all of my units, I guess. Just as long as you come down to the bottom line next turn ready to die. I wish I had better damage projection than Jack Strips early on. I feel quite limited. Like, admittedly, we are very powerful after a certain point, but we leak damage along the way, and we can't really do that in the Titan fight. We basically have enough HP to survive it. Get him, Wickless. Realistically, my Pyre needs to be stronger, but I don't have a way of doing that. I guess I can use Wickville every so often to daze Dominion on the top line. That's just negating 3 damage. Dropping Savagery puts them at the back of a line that then they become really, really difficult to reach. Amara Sanoki, you could probably wear the equalizing rings without losing damage over it. Oh, hang on. Obviously, you're also the first unit to go down. Oh, hell yes. Very early, endless green recruit. Extremely important. Explode that unit. Summon it again. I'll explode it after it's taken additional damage now. Dig deep. Spawn 4? I do think the green recruit would survive, but... Oh god, not only the green recruit survive, but also Little Fade would survive if I did that. Definitely can't do that then. Let's throw that dig deep on the top line then. Resin removal could remove 4 spell shield from Dominion, which I guess I might as well use it on someone. I like the idea of the second unit trampling now that they have the same damage. Because if you overcome like a very healthy minion, I would like you to also be able to push some of that damage backwards. Again, green recruit, Little Fade. It's going to be the same song a couple times here. There's no incant triggers on that bottom line, but I will be playing Fungi in the suit down there in just a bit. Just using the shield steward to block on this floor. I want to keep the ladies of the house alive, literally just to prevent the resolve trigger of savagery, the 5 damage to the fire. Now I'm thinking I should throw Fungi in a suit down here, but I worry that that'll give so much health to Green Recruit and Little Fade that they will live. Does cause Little Fade Recruit to live. that's worth it. I will let the green recruit live this one turn. Allows me to draw a little deeper into the deck, if nothing else. Nice, and now you still die, and Chosen Assassin is here. I'm very glad I have Amorous Inoki for that sake, because now the backlines are safe to all the damage that's going to be pushed to them. Get him. Throw a primitive mold on this line, then explode it, then hallowed halls. Perfect. Got another chump blocker for later. And we are now cutting through big health units in the front line reasonably well. I do think we gave the trample to the right unit as well. Green recruit, little fade. Perfect. Enough damage to kill both. I'm not going to mess with that. I want them to die. Shields dude, you may. Oh, rot. Perfect. 15 damage and 15 decay. That decay is 3 damage per decay every turn to Dominion, so that's a little bit of damage we can get on you. 900 damage coming in on Savagery on the bottom line. I'm not really too worried about Entropy because there's always a blank space. Or one blank line, I think. Is it after Entropy? Or after Savagery or before Savagery? I think it's before Savagery. Yeah. Where you can hit direct. Also, eventually our trample will force us to just do, 500 damage per turn to the back line, which is where we're at. Okay. So eventually it will do what it's doing right now. Making sure I keep those middle lines healthy. Kill the green recruit. I mean, it is more important to kill Lil Fade, to be fair, but kill the green recruit, goddammit! Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to save that unit on the top line. Oh boy, I'm also not able to save the Lady of the Wax in the mid line right now. Okay, I should undo that then. So, the unit that we have on the bottom line that is currently not dying, and I keep making a big fuss about the fact that he's not dying, if I wanted to, I could absolutely just fly you to another floor as a jump blocker, and then you completely keep someone safe. Which is, and this is true, what I should do. Should have been what I did do the whole time. Ooh, Dominion's getting pretty unhealthy up on that top line. I wouldn't be surprised if this next cycle is enough for us to take care of the rest of Savagery's health as well. In fact, I am almost surprised that it is not enough to do it right now. Granted, I'm going to need a little more time to work on Entropy in the backline to do that. 72 burnout, 92 burnout, 119 burnout. Well, the series only went up for like 4. Hey, Green Recruit. You want to actually save a line from damage, please? Obviously, Votivary still needs to go down. There we go. 1 health on that minion. Savagery's getting there. There you go. I'll save 3 damage this turn as well. Actually, we might need a couple more rounds for the entropy in the backline. Yeets. Oh, you got silence on the floor. How dare you? It's not going to accomplish anything. It's just going to be annoying. I want to set you down and daze you. Yes. Because then I'll buy a free line literally just to directly attack Entropy next round, and that's the only minion I really need to worry about. Hallowed Hall's that top line. Push as much damage as humanly possible. That's enough damage for that line. Okay, we good. Wait, no. Green Recruit ability still needs to be able to trigger. You fly to the top line, and we're done. That's all they wrote. Victory. Woo! Absolutely busted set of artifacts, to be completely frank. Very, very helpful. Waxen Warriors, achievement unlocked, winning a run with all Covenants active with the Melting Remnant. Big Sludge! I love this guy in his jaunty little hat. It's good to see you again, friend. 2 Ember, 3 Size. On Harvest, gain range 5. Melting Spout. 2 units gain 30 additional health and burnout 1, making them much better chump units. Remnant Host, 0 Ember, 1 Size, Tomb unit. On Extinguish, summon 2 drafts. I love that. And Paraffin Enforcer, 1 Ember, 2 Size. On Strike, apply Rage 3 to friendly burnout units. Underlegion still just not at level 10. No! We'll get 9 more cards gilded, though, for our troubles. Beautiful. Head back to the outposts and see that no one wants to talk to us. I hope we haven't just extinguished, what's the word? Exhausted all of the events. For the moment, though, my name has been Rhapsody. The name of the game has been Monster Train 2. Top left is a series playlist for all my content of the game, past, present, future. YouTube recommendation down below. Streaming past and the names of the people's generalities supporting. They're public on patreon.com/RhapsodyPlays. I don't but thank you, and a special thanks this episode to Matthew. Hopefully you'll have been enjoying yourselves, and hopefully see you all next time.